Moment. Are you ready, Lisa?
Yep.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, good.
My name is Victor, and my topic is the Korean DMZ. Imagine yourself a hair length away from an enemy soldier, being able to feel the soldier's exhale rush into your face. Now imagine being followed by a sniper rifle as you walk back and forth in your post area. Imagine yourself a mere statistic, one out of the 2 million soldiers that makes your location the most heavily secured border in the world. Imagine yourself a poker face soldier with only one objective: defend your country at all costs. Such is the state of affairs in the Korean DMZ, or demilitarized zone. The Korean DMZ was constructed in 1948 and is 155 miles in length and 2.5 miles in width. This daunting separation between the North and South Koreans was initially a boundary between the US-occupied and Soviet Union-occupied areas at the end of World War II. As the US was trying to influence its democratic form of government in the South Koreans, the Russians were trying to influence and advocate its communist form of government. Because of the differences between the two world powers, an agreement was not reached, which has left Korea split in two. The hostility between the North Korean and the South Korean soldiers continued perpetually to this day. And it was in 1953 that the two sides decided to move their troops back 2,200 yards to create a buffer zone, known as the Military Demarcation Line. However, in Hanwon, there exists a joint security area. A joint security area, or JSA, which is the only place where the North and South meet. It is here that the two sides have met face-to-face in search for agreement and ease tensions. But ease tensions were not always possible. In 1976, there was an infamous incident known as the Axe Murder Incident. This incident heightened the animosity between the two sides. On the Bridge of No Return, which was a path between the North and the South, or vice versa, there was a 100-foot tree that blocked divisions from a United Nations post and an opposite post. The South established an order to trim the tree, but the North Koreans did not comply with the order and therefore told the South to stop. But the South showed ignorance and turned their back on the North Korean leaders, and so therefore the two United States Army officers were killed with the use of axes, hence the name. For many of the Korean people, ease tensions and the riddance of apprehension is sought, regardless of knowledge of North Koreans' philosophy, which is called Chuche, or self-reliance. This law has influenced many incursions and invasions by the North Koreans. The North Koreans had multiple times, in fact, dug tunnels under the DMZ 1,000 feet beyond the demarcation line. The tunnels measured 3 feet by 4 feet and 6 feet by 6 feet, 2 of each. When the South Koreans discovered the tunnels, the North Koreans claimed that they were coal mining, but there was no coal to be found whatsoever after further investigation. Another form of Chuche was demonstrated when the South Koreans put up a flag measuring 328 feet in Taesongdong. The North Korean government responded by building a taller one, the tallest in the world at 525 feet in Heejongdong. Despite the DMZ being home to 2 million young and courageous soldiers, it is also home and refuge to the endangered species of plants and animals, like the white heron, which can only be found between the North and South Korea area. Because of the 50-year absence of human contact, the biodiversity is one of the most well-preserved in the world, and ecologists are afraid that the biodiversity may be harmed because of the millions of landmines that litter the unoccupied territory. The Korean DMZ is definitely a place with a lot of history and bloodshed, and the 38th parallel is definitely a place you should visit, as long as you follow necessary precautions. Keep your hands in your pockets, and don't make any sudden movements. Thank you. Questions?
Questions?
What was the outcome of the Axe murders? Did anything happen to those soldiers?
How did the DMZ change?
The animosity between the two heightened. because the South Koreans wanted to trim the tree, but the North basically didn't want them coming onto the bridge of no return. So as for how did it change, it made the Korean soldiers, the South and North Korean soldiers, more inclined to fight, and it showed more hatred for Tucson.
I believe there's actually a national institutional change that happened because of the axe murder, because the area used to be, you know how, I don't know, you don't know this now, but currently you're not allowed to cross the line, but back then you were. It was that area was kind of this open zone.
The bridge, right?
The bridge, and there's this area that was the neutral zone, but because of that they actually stopped walking through the area. So that's why it's pretty much two sides as opposed to a neutral zone.
Okay, and that's why it's called the Bridge of No Return also.
Any more questions?
Is there only one bridge of no return?
Yeah.
But so do you know what, I don't know what happened. Do you know what happened to those two North Korean soldiers?
Oh, it was actually two United States from the South soldiers that got killed.
Right.
But I mean,
The killers, what happened to them?
I can get that for you.
Any more questions?